Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys? Erin, Kevin, welcome to Us Weekly.
Thanks
Thanks so much for coming by.
Our pleasure. It's very fun to be here.
Very fun to have you. So obviously, big moment in this season. Elizabeth, Nathan, finally getting together after all this time. But why do you think now was the perfect time?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of obstacles went away. I think.
Yeah.
You know, they've known each other for 5 years, 5 seasons,
Sure.
and a lot has been kind of in the way of this romance. And you know, I think, what did I say earlier? It's a clear road to romance now between the two of them. And yeah, I think they're taking advantage of it.
Sure. I think fans would have been rioting if we waited any longer.
Yes.
They still are a little bit, you know. We haven't got to the full climax yet of the season. And they're getting antsy.
Yeah.
We warned them that it would be a very slow burn
Yes.
seeing these two people come together, but maybe it's a little slower than they were expecting.
Yeah,
They're like, give us a kiss already.
Give us something. But
Yeah.
I did see the upcoming episode, and we finally do get the kiss.
We do.
That happens.
Did you feel a lot of pressure filming that scene because it was such a pivotal, big scene for both of your characters?
I don't know that I'd use the word pressure, but we knew how important it was, and we wanted to make sure that we rose
Delivered?
to the occasion.
Whoa! I would have ended with delivered.
I mean, we wanted to make sure that it gave the fans what they'd been hoping for. And I don't just mean the kiss. I mean, like, the things that we were saying in that scene as well. We wanted to acknowledge the history between these two people. So I hope that they like it.
No, definitely. Why do you feel like that was so important? Because obviously Elizabeth, apologizes, professes her love and things like that. But why do you think that was so important in that moment rather than just like, falling into each other's arms and kissing?
I think there's a lot left unsaid between the two of them, especially because Nathan kind of professed his love in season 8, and Elizabeth running away from that wasn't fully explained. So they sat with a lot of these questions unanswered for 4 years. So I think that monologue that Erin delivers is earned and important and needed really before we get to that kiss. Like they really it's the last thing to clear all the air to be like kind of what Nathan's been waiting to hear.
Sure.
Right.
So we really needed
I think the fans would have still been happy if we just kissed and we didn't have all the monologue leading up to it.
Right.
But I think there would have still been questions like, why hasn't she explained this or made things right? Because she really did, I mean, inadvertently, but she really did hurt Nathan, and so that needed an explanation.
Sure, yeah. So do you feel like now, like you said before, this is kind of a clear path forward, and that's what we'll explore in
Have you seen
season
12 yet? Have you seen episode 12 yet?
No, I haven't seen episode 12
No, there's
yet.
a big shift.
Okay.
You see it. Once that little hiccup is cleared up,
Okay.
they're in a whole new world.
They're in a whole new world. They're in love in like a...
It's a bit of a honeymoon
It's a
phase.
bit of a honeymoon
they're
phase.
in a brand new phase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's not a slow burn anymore. We're going right into it.
It's
full
they're
speed
taking the
ahead.
town out, yeah.
Taking the town out
Thank
now.
God Hickam got that hose in that one season, the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Now, as fans of the show as well, that you guys are obviously fans of the show too, do you feel like Elizabeth and Nathan are endgame as well?
I do.
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear at the end of the season.
Sure.
They've always had a special connection, but I do think Elizabeth and Nathan are soulmates. We can use that word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you envisioned what the wedding might look like?
I mean, well, it took 5 years to get to the kiss.
Right.
So, I mean, we got lots of time to envision what this wedding's going to look like.
Right. Don't do that to us.
Yeah. I will say, if and when it happens, and if it happens, I hope it's special to them, and I hope it's fitting to what their story is, and whether that's something just special for them or I don't know,
something that feels unique.
Something that feels unique to that
characters.
relationship.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What was the most fun or challenging scene that you had to film this season?
Well. I mean,
we can milk this.
You first.
No, you go. You were about to say. I haven't thought of mine yet. Go ahead.
I'm not. Well, okay. I have a hard time choosing because there have been so many interesting scenes that we filmed, but I'm thinking about a sequence in episode 11, this hostage situation, and all the time we spent in the saloon with the shootout and going over the balcony.
I was
and
wondering,
I mean, that whole thing was actually shot on our very last day filming this season. It was a super late night. I think we went until 6 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
It was cold. The hay was scratchy. Oh, it's so hard being an actor.
And we had to lay in that hay for a good.
We did.
Yeah.
We did, but you're right.
I'm choking on my own spit here. No, I can get it. I can hold it together.
But I'd say that was a challenge, but hopefully worth it. I think it looked really great on screen.
Was it a long way down that fall, or was it
I hope it
magic?
looks longer than it was.
TV magic?
It was TV magic.
It was.
We did actually have some people that did break through the railing and fall.
Okay.
And a couple of us got wide shots of that on our phones.
Yeah, pretty cool.
They fell. They went down.
Ours was a little bit of a shorter.
Yeah, we kind of rolled onto a raised bed of hay. I'm like, oh, thank God this hay. Yeah, it was, lying in the hay was the toughest part.
It's the toughest part, yeah.
It was cold and itchy.
Did this answer your question?
Yes, it did. It did.
Where are we?
Did you know from early on the season who shot Lucas, or were you kind of guessing along the way? Did you have any ideas? Was it kind of a mystery to you guys as well?
I thought it was me up until episode 4.
You did not. I knew.
You sure?
Did you know?
I think I did.
I try not to tell Kevin too much because he's got a bit of a...
Hey, you want to hear something crazy?
Here we go.
I think I must have known. I mean, I'm trying to remember if early on I wasn't told until, I don't know. Sometimes in our show, the cast can sometimes be the last to find out a couple things, you know? So I think I knew at least around episode 4 what it was, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. How does this kind of change things going forward, if it does at all?
Who shot Lucas?
Yeah, now that we know, now that is kind of settled, how does this kind of shift things in the town going forward?
Well, it sets Lucas up for a great story moving forward in season 12. I mean, he's still the governor. His ex-partner tried to kill him.
Right. That's complicated.
He wasn't able to get that resort off the ground. He kind of came into a bunch of problems that he didn't think he was going to have. He's kind of in a place that they can take him anywhere. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Tune in.
Yes, exactly. We had a lot, a lot got shaken up in episode 11. And episode 12 is in some ways a bit of a coda on the season. There's a lot of happy good times happening. But there's a major cliffhanger as well, and we're leaving a lot of characters in places where we're not exactly sure what next season is going to look like for them. So,
since you've been on the show for so long, do you have any input or be like to the writers and things like that? Be like, well, maybe maybe my character should go this way. Maybe my character should go that way.
Well, Erin is an executive producer, so
right.
she's got a lot more sway than a lot of us do. The writers are very open to hearing everybody's thoughts and opinions, especially at the beginning of the season. And as the scripts come out, if there's a problem or once you sit with your character for more than 3 years, I feel like you really know them. So you can send an email and be like, I don't think I'd say this, or I don't think this would happen. And sometimes they'll listen to you, and sometimes they don't. I don't know. It's kind of a collaboration. But they do, you do get a bit of an input. If you're an executive producer, you get a lot more of an input.
Doesn't mean they always listen. They are very encouraging. It's a pretty collaborative show to be a part of.
Sure, yeah. Where do you hope Elizabeth goes in season 12?
I mean, I'd like to continue telling stories that are meaningful to the fans.
Yeah.
Giving them as much of what they want that we can, and maybe challenging them to see characters outside the box a little bit. I'd like to see Elizabeth have some experiences that she hasn't before, so we've got a few ideas up our sleeve. And more romance.
Definitely more
That's
romance.
Hallmark.
Yeah,
to be into
that is Hallmark. That is Hallmark. Do you think
parameters.
Do you think that Nathan would ever shift job responsibilities, considering what happened in his past?
He's offered.
Yeah.
I think he offered in season 8 that he would do it. I think it's a possibility. I haven't heard anything, but I would say it's not off a chopping block. It would be on there to be worked with.
Yeah. What do you think makes Nathan and Allie's relationship so unique?
Oh, it's so good.
Well, I think the idea of like a dad doing his best without a mother, without a female person to, that's kind of their Nathan and Elizabeth's first kind of connection, was that Nathan kind of, inherited Allie from his sister, and he doesn't really know how to raise a girl, and he's trying his best on top of being like this police officer for the Valley. So he confides a lot in Elizabeth. So I think what makes Allie's and Nathan's relationship so special is it just feels very genuine in a way that like Nathan's trying his best, but he doesn't know all the time. He's just he's not
so
he doesn't know what it means to be like a young girl growing up on the in the prairie. So he's figuring it out, and Allie's got her own backstory of like never really knowing her mother and having to rely on Nathan, and yeah, I think they're both struggling, but they have each other. So yeah, it's special.
Has it taught you anything about what it means to be a parent?
It's taught me the most. I mean, because I don't have any kids right now, so it's the closest I've got. But I mean, I did get to watch Jada kind of grow up on the show. It's 6 seasons, 7 years, 6, 7 years I've worked on this, and Aaron showed me a picture the other day of Jada graduating, and I was like,
it's amazing.
Who is this? Because I mean, she still is kind of that little girl when I first met her, and I remember doing the audition with her, the fishing rod and the sass. And then, she still got the sass. But yeah, just to watch, see that picture of her in like that gown, like the black gown of graduation,
surreal.
walking across the stage, and you're like, wow, I watched that person kind of grow up.
Yeah, I mean, is it really like a family community on set? Because it's 11 seasons. You have known each other, like you said. You've seen each other grow up, in all different stages of each other's lives. So what is it really like? This, one calls the Heart community.
It very much mirrors the sense of community on screen. I mean, we're spending holidays together. Pascal has us over for Canadian Thanksgiving, and we're taking trips together. And Jada is showing us pictures of grad dresses she's considering, and we're helping her choose which one looks best.
People are having babies.
Having babies.
It's
getting married.
Getting married.
It's really become a family, and I mean, we've met some of our dearest friends on that show. It's the best. I
know. I think you described it one time as like, Hope Valley, it really is magic.
It is.
Not only, like you said, people find relationships and they're forever partners and things like that. So I mean, what kind of magic has happened lately?
Well, I mean, we often find ourselves in situations where we're supposed to film a big important scene, and the weather is calling for a thunderstorm or something, and the sky clears, and we have what weather we need. What else?
So from a production point of view, that is magic. We make our day. The day didn't cost any more than it was supposed to. Like personal magic? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say, without getting into too much stuff, there's been struggles this year and last year, and the cast has always been there for whoever's kind of going through that stuff, and I think that's magic. That it's those relationships on screen are also what happens off screen as well.
We're really there for each other in our lowest moments, and we're also there to help celebrate each other when we have successes. It's a great relationship.
I know your co-star Mamie is going through a really difficult time right now. How has the cast kind of rallied around her and been there for her during this time?
Well, Mamie started with us back in season 1, and we were so lucky that she came back and joined us last season. She's an incredible young woman, and it's just heartbreaking what she's been experiencing. We're going to obviously give her family some privacy by not getting into any detail, but she's on the mend, and we are just wishing her the fastest recovery she can have.
Yeah. What was it like shooting with her?
The best.
Yeah.
It was really surreal. I mean, I guess you didn't know her.
Well, I didn't know her at the beginning, but I knew the storyline she came on to do with Martin was,
so powerful.
So powerful, so well earned from,
Yeah. And I think
prior.
she'd taken a bit of a break from acting, but she came back to it like no time had passed, and it was just really special. Sure. Another opportunity to see a kid like Jada having grown up so much, and you're suddenly looking at them like, who is this adult? How did this happen?
How did this happen? How did we get here? Yeah. Well, we wish her a speedy recovery.
Thank you
and
so
nothing
much.
but the best. And our heart goes out to everybody, her family, and your family as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So when people watch this finale coming up, what are you hoping they feel? What are you hoping they take away from it? Will they be satisfied? Like you said, it's going to be a cliffhanger.
I hope they're satisfied. Well, the cliffhanger, I don't know if they're going to be satisfied, but
Don't scare them, Kevin.
The cliffhanger, I don't think no one's going to go, yes. But I think, I think a lot of people will be satisfied the way the season ends.
Yeah.
And especially where Elizabeth and Nathan end their season.
Right.
As far as the last 5 minutes of that cliffhanger.
I think you were right with 5 seconds.
It was 5 seconds, you're right. It's a quick drop that you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That can be, it's definitely going to want to make people tune in for season 12.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know Brian said, I think last October, that there's may always be room for Laurie to come back.
Oh.
If she did, how do you think Abigail could fit into what's going on now? Would you want to see her come back?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Laurie picked Kevin up and drove him to his chemistry reading.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Did she really?
Yeah, absolutely. She was. I think there was a problem at the studio, and the chemistry read that I was supposed to have with Aaron was delayed, and they're like, "Don't worry, we're figuring this out. We're sending somebody." And I came down to the lobby, and it was like Aunt Becky was like, "Hey, I'm taking you to." And I was like, "Am I dreaming? What's happening?" And then and I was dreaming the whole time. No, and then we got in, and so she was nothing but supportive, for the whole period of me getting on the show and being on the show the first season. And I think there's been lots of people that said we'd love to have her back, and
We would.
it's not our decision, of course.
Right, but she's an incredible person, a very dear friend, and she's got a real good heart. People don't even know how special a person she is, and it would be wonderful to have her back in Hope Valley.
Definitely. Is there anybody else that you would wish would come back?
That would come back?
Yeah. From past characters, anything like that?
Well, I mean, that world is starting to be explored, by the way, because we had several characters from past seasons come back.
That's right.
Since
Yeah.
our new showrunners joined.
Yeah.
Who would you want to come back? Oh no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not gonna
I'll
say.
just say it's always fun to see the kids come back.
Sure.
Like, especially starting with a group of children who were very young, seeing them come back as adults. I mean, we talked about this before. It's really heartwarming.
It's really heartwarming.
So more of that would be nice.
Definitely.